The first African slaves came into the Jamestown colony in 1619.
That first ship carried around 20 slaves.
And therein really begins the history of slavery in America.
George Washington was a slave owner. Thomas Jefferson, third president, was a slave owner. The phrase from the Constitution is, all men are created equal. And it's there that we see the first inherent contradiction.
Women are excluded. The indigenous population is excluded. Enslaved Africans are also excluded.
That refusal to recognize the essential humanity of black people runs right the way through American history.
The America we know today, one of the richest, most powerful democracies in the world, was built on the backs of slaves.
If you want to become a world power, you can't go too far wrong by integrating a program of almost limitless free labor.
In the 17th and 18th centuries, African slaves mainly worked on the tobacco plantations in the South. But by the early 19th century, this had given way to cotton plantations as huge demand for cotton grew in America and Europe.
They're trading by the mid-19th century in the millions of bales every year.
And to actually meet that global demand, there is an increased demand for slave labor. It's an economic system as well. It's actually going to, in many ways, drive the destiny of the country.
The property value of slaves increases too.
Those who are seen as healthy and fit are considered prized possessions.
A slave economy is what enables America to really begin to build the extraordinary wealth that it still benefits from today.
By 1860, America's slave population had reached nearly 4 million, resulting in an incredible explosion of the country's financial power. Slavery was deeply entrenched in the South, but in the North, it was a different story.
The North becomes increasingly mechanized. We see the emergence of a factory system. You have an increasingly industrialized North.
When Abraham Lincoln was elected president,
Lincoln was morally opposed to slavery. The white South fear that he will use his power to bring about the emancipation of the slaves and the destruction of their entire way of life. This is the point of no return.
Created using Powtoon.